Okay. We should be good to go. Tenacious Transport. No idea which server this is going to be. Go ahead and have our MRE. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the live stream. Captain Deadwick here, about to get out of bed and see what we can do with the whole C. I haven't really gotten a chance to test it since we had some server maintenance and the hotfix rolled back over to the live build. So let's see if there's any improvements here. Hope everyone's off to a good start to their day, or I guess wherever you're at in the world have been to a good start to your day. What's poppin', Charlie? Charlie Mike 76. Oh, I need to go over to the multi-stream tab. There we go. I almost forgot about that. Good to see you over here from YouTube. We'll see what's popping. Hopefully not the whole sea. wanna stay in one piece there. I think we're at Pyro Gateway still, which is perfect. Hopefully this thing is here waiting for us.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Oh, off to a good start. All right, let's get this thing retrieved.
Stand by. Your vehicle has been. Please visit us again. Welcome to the
2,
ASOP
Mississippi,
Vehicle
3,
Retrieval
Mississippi,
System.
4. Get
Your
it stored.
vehicle has been moved to our storage facility. Please visit us again.
There we go. Now our hangar should be ready to go. But will the elevator? There it is. What's up, Mitchell? Got up to experience rep finally. Hell yeah, dude. Glad to hear it. Not managed to do a single whole C contract. Done on server issues or not. Damn. Talk about being teased, right? What's going? Let me try that again. What's going on, FKNA? We're gonna see if we can have any better luck with the whole C ourselves. We're over here at Pyro Gateway. Hey, Mitchell, have you been playing since the hotfix rolled back over to live after server maintenance and all? I imagine you have been. I'm gonna grab an extra tractor rifle. Tried yesterday, but it was pointless. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I have no doubt that I'll probably be experiencing the same thing. That's what we're here to find out. It's really sucky, man, because there's so much potential here. I was worried that this patch was going to come with a lot of breaks, given all the stuff they added in and how intense the orbital mining lasers and all are. There's my big grumpy girl, the Maggie C. Yeah, I have no doubt it'll get there. I just know that we would all love for it to get there sooner than later. At least the consistency of being able to do our pickup and drop-offs and such. I also feel like the more constantly I test this thing, hopefully somewhere over there CIG is taking a good look at all the whole C activity and making the fixes they need to make. I wonder if now there might be a bit of an overload of people trying to use the whole C, which is causing more problems, which is good, because they need to be able to operate this game with there being a whole bunch of people using this ship. Actually, utilize our little tool rack here. There we go. And then, actually, for full immersion's sake here, why don't we put both in here? Just make it symmetrical. One on each side. There we go. El Guapo! Yeah, they needed to finally get this thing right. I agree. It was, apparently day one it was functioning really well, of this patch, before things got a little crazy. And then, it was working well for me on the external gateways, you know, Terra, Magnus, and Pyro. Oh, I forget we're at Pyro. For some reason, Pyro Station is the only one where my key binding to leave the station doesn't work. Hailing. I have to actually go through and do it this way.
You are clear to launch.
Frustrating. Can I raise my landing gear finally? Yeah, I ended up having to clean the whole sea, so I can finally raise my landing gear, which is nice. And I guess take a peek. Well, we'll get out of here first. We'll start cruising forward. Oh, Wubbo, I see you. I see you, dirty bastard. Good day, Deshaun. What's up, man? It's good to see you all in here. This early for me, but might not be all that crazy early for you guys, given wherever you're coming from.
Thank you. And please visit
Let's
again.
not go shield off yet at Pyro Gateway. That might not be smart. Damn, it's already got a cargo box spawned. We'll see if that causes an issue. Alright. See if we can find anything big and beefy from Pyro heading to one of the other stations. Magnus to Terra. Magnus to Everest. Terra to Magnus is the big one today instead of Terra to Pyro. Everest to Magnus. Give me some pyros. Some pyros out, I should say, not some pyros in. Any of the interstellars, come on now. Terra. Pyro to Magnus, let's go. 2300 SCU of cargo. Alright, let's get her expanded. I kind of don't even want to mess with that box that's currently out. So we're going to go ahead and blast away, reset that cargo grid, and come back. Alright, let me set my MFDs as well. Because apparently having that advanced nav MFD does help for your fuel being reflected more accurately, which I like. I've noticed that the large hangars at the gateway stations require hailing to open the hangar doors. Yeah, I've definitely noticed that to be the case of Pyro. Actually, I guess I haven't called my ships from any large hangars at the other gateway, so it probably is the same. We just want to get far enough away that the cargo box will despawn. Loading area revoked. Sweet. Let's get in there. Yeah, I did too. As far I like how you can EVA. I've even gone all the way aft when I'm docked in port and EVA'd out of the top airlock, which is pretty cool. Make sure we get a good scan. There's nothing crazy around us. It's gonna end up popping out and hurting us. There we go. We got our grid. All right, Maggie C. Really want you to do your thing properly this morning. Got a few boxes to get loads to work yesterday. Yeah, we'll see just how much we got to finagle with it today. I noticed when I was actually offloading a bunch of crap manually, some of it was disappearing on me, like despawning, and I'm wondering if that's stuff that was technically registered as being like taken by the station that didn't get taken. I know, it's hard to say. A lot of guesswork involved with trying to figure out what is causing this to not work. I really just think it's coming down to server stability. Because in the PTU, it was fantastic. But that's pretty normal, because there's not a whole lot of stress in the PTU. There's not enough players to really stress it out. Alright. We're still moving. I really wish that going coupled would be more reliable with stopping our ships. There we go. We're stopped! Let's see what happens. We had a weird jump in our time bar there, but I'll take it. Because it looks like it is loading us up. The other day, actually I think it was either Monday or Wednesday's live stream, we got loaded up, but we just couldn't drop off. So I'm not going to get too excited until we're actually depositing our goods over at Magnus. Once I get the point A to point B without fail fix on every loop, man, it's going to be so damn good. I agree. I mean, just the other day, when everything was starting to break again, I was at a station where like 4 whole C's were coming together to onload and offload stuff. And it was one of the coolest damn sights. Because, I mean, one of the lure bits with this ship is that it's the most common ship you'll see in the verse. And when it is reliably working, I think that will absolutely be the case. It'll be everywhere. And it was so sick to see a bunch of whole C's coming in. Granted, we were all sat there, unable to offload, and probably all looking at each other like, yeah, you too, huh? Sad life. But it was cool. It gave me an idea for what it'll look like in the future when we've got all these whole C's working. And we'll probably be putting a lot of escorts to work to keep us all safe as well. Yeah, wasn't it though? Man, I loved seeing them all. I felt bad because I knew that all of them, just like me, were probably not having any success with actually dropping anything off. This is a pretty hefty load here. It's roughly half of our cargo cap. And I guess it'll really just come down to the servers handling how many whole C's are trying to do this. I think also in the PTU, there might have been like 1 or 2 of us really doing this kind of testing. And it was working really, really well. I mean, I have one of my live streams, and I think I condensed it down to a video, had actually barely got any views compared to some other stuff. I was kind of surprised. We did 11 contracts. Or I think that was when I was chaining the smaller ones. But yeah, it was like 11 back-to-back contracts, and it was all successful. It was really promising, but there's always that caveat that we're not in the live build in those cases, so you never know if it's going to translate over. I don't think we're adding any more cargo. I don't see anything else coming on, but the grid is still reflecting like we are. Commencing cargo transfer. Is it stuck? Like, I don't want to... What do we got? A 3x4. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 3x4s of 32s. So that's 72 32s. Let me do a little math here. $2,304 SCU in just 32 SKU boxes. Plus, well, there's 2 more there. It's 2368. What do we have there? It's hard to see in this freaking light. That looks like a 16 and a 4. So I'm reflecting 2388. Should be 2391. So we're missing a little something. And give us a little wiggle. There we go. Just trying to shake the grid up. Yeah, we're missing a double. Why are you moving so much? Jeez, we're coupled. You should not be moving. Loaded up with 4K SU. Was nuts to pilot Everest to Sarah from No Joy. Can't load. Damn. Let's see. I am in... Whoa, can't type. Display info 2. Where are we at? I'm in EU shard 050 right now. This is an idea of where I'm at. Transfer paused. I think we've got all but 3 SCU of cargo here. Yeah, because we had 12 by 6 splines of 32s, which is 2304 plus the other 64. So we're at 2368 SCU of cargo, and then let me just rotate this thing so I can see the front. Yeah, I believe that's just a 16 and a 4 there, right? So for some reason it's not loading on the last couple boxes. Alright, let's try leaving the grid. We're not obstructing. Man, dude, these freaking mall cops.
Contact received.
Oh, what the fuck? No, sir. Oh. Alright. Well. We just, got EVA'd. We're in a suck vacuum. Off to a great start, guys. This is just more content for the Hull C failures video. Dude, the Hull C, the Maggie C got so spooked by that Star Lancer that she just dipped on me. She just went poof. Oh no. Gosh. This is real life. Yo, that hostile Star Lancer scared my whole sea right out of existence. Jeez. Yeah, Everest Harbor has been a mess pretty much since the start. That's why I was sticking to the outside regions, because the Align and Mine event right there at Everest, as well as Crusader, there's a lot of server load on those areas. It's been my rationale, at least. Because they've got these servers dedicated to Align and Mine, and there's just a lot going on with everything with this new event. So I figured Everest Harbor would be busted.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Yeah, it said that I got away, too, and it still took my whole sea. But I've got no impound charge. Interesting.
Your vehicle has been
Alright, docking port 2. We can do a proper count, I guess. Yeah, I still agree. I still think, Fish, that having like a solid docking collar would take care of a lot of our problems. Just in every area where there's a box grid that would appear, just give us a docking arm, you know? I don't mind taking a few more seconds to properly dock, so the game registers everything properly, we're not moving, and then you auto-load us, and then we break away from dock, and carry on our happy way. Well, hopefully we'll have a chance to count again here while we're sitting and not have to worry about getting impounded again. Tractor rifles are still here, which is cool. Yeah, I agree. I think that would be a good thing. Just eliminate the extra problems. Oh, lovely. This docking arm is just not really spawned. So yeah, I was right. That is a 16 and a 4. Oh, no, there's a single on the inside of that arm. So we're just missing a double. Unless it's... If I can catch its silhouette somewhere. We're just missing a double. We got our quad and we got our single. And all that, we're just missing fucking 2 SCU of cargo. Shit, I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to go partial submit this if it'll actually get pulled off the boat. Alright, let's see if we can actually break away, though.
You are clear to launch.
Alright. We should be breaking away from our imaginary docking arm. There it is. Alright. And now it's going to want to impound us, so we're going to... Jeez. Love that our engines weren't on. Wow, it took us 5 seconds for the engines to even register as active. Will we get away in time? Okay, looks like we did. My gosh. What's up, Kevin? Morning, man. We are already in a funny little world here with our hull C. We had a hostile Star Lancer pop in, and my hull C just decided to go poof and disappear on me, so I just called it back out. Cargo transfer requested. I want to see if I can grab that last 2 SCU of cargo before we leave. Based on my math, we have everything but a double. We're missing one double. One little thing. I'm definitely going shields up. Because if that Star Lancer wants to get froggy with me, I need to be able to get out of here. The only ships I think that can dock right now are your really, really big ones, like your Carrack, your Polaris. I know the Polaris you have to dock when you call it out. But I'm not sure what other ships engage with docking. I personally like the feature quite a bit. I wish it let you manually dock all the way in, because I like doing that. Alright, let's see. Get full power to shields here. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can get this last little box that's hiding from us. We should be fully stopped. Just really need that quad, or sorry, that little 2 SCU to appear for us. It's the last thing we need. Otherwise, if it doesn't, we're just going to get out of here. I mean, because 2,389 out of 2,391 is fine. It's not going to hurt our rep. And we can move on with our testing. I'll at least complete this mission and then maybe bedlog into another server. That's a fair point. Yeah. Like, you know, the Connie can dock with the Merlin, or vice versa, I guess, depending on how you're thinking about it. Does the Merlin still disappear when you try going in a quantum drive, or like undock? I know some people were having an issue with that ship. That sounded really dumb. Give it another little wiggle. It's the last chance I'm going to give it before we get out of here. From my time on the hull C, there was a button somewhere for docking camera that might indicate manual docking was going to be an option. I know there's a hotkey for it that you can bind. I haven't seen where it might be. Let's see, noise countermeasures, proximity flight assist, cruise control, G-safe, decoupled, ESP. That middle one's not working. We got deploy landing gear. We got open exterior. And exit. None of these keys are working. So many buttons. Could have been a dream. Yeah. Well, I do know that there is a hotkey for it, for docking camera or something. It's right here. Let's see. Key bindings, advanced, flight docking, toggle docking camera. So we have toggle docking mode, invoke docking, and toggle docking camera. None of which have worked for me. Yeah, I hit 0 and nothing happens. So it's there, it's listed, but I don't think it's actually a function yet. Apologies. Nose is driving me insane. Alright, we're going to go ahead and just move along, because this isn't working, and we'll see if we have some success outside of Pyro Gateway. We're going to go ahead and set course for Magnus. We'll get 99.9% credit for this. There we go, lining up. Not to mention yeah, see? Nope, we're going to quantum out of here before you can get us, you stupid cops. I can't stand these parking police, dude. Smoking Pit, what's up, dude? How's it going? We are heading over to Magnus now to see if we can drop off this all but 2 SCU of cargo on this load. I wonder if the game will give us full credit. So, like, we did the math here. We figured out we're just 2 SCU shy because we got a single kind of hiding up here. And we got the quad and the 16. And we got 74 32 SCU slots. So I haven't had a 2 kind of like hiding. I've checked all like the silhouettes I can of everything else. And no other 2s. I do see a single chilling under those dorsal boxes there forward. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if it actually counts as having everything, or if it's going to leave us too short, or whatever the hell's going to happen. You know, just chilling at oh no, why are you at Klesher? What, you been naughty? You being naughty? What'd you do? How'd you get in prison? I gotta know this story. Ooh, maybe in the future then, that'd be cool, along with some kind of landing pad alignment indicator, Blade Runner style. Yeah, man, I would love that stuff. I'd love to have more interfaces that show, you know, our trajectories, or how we're coming in. I'm gonna be getting some form of head tracking or Tobii eye tracker soon, so I can actually just like look around the whole seat cockpit for easier flying. What's up, Kuza?
What's up, buddy?
Just off to a interesting start in the whole sea.
Did you see the new Fleet Yards update
Fleet Yards update? I have not.
in the VTI? You should go look at it.
Yeah, let me go check that out. What we got here? Fleet Yards? Is it?
The shipyard.
Okay, the shipyard. Oh, is this where we're keeping track of everybody's ships in New York?
Yep.
See some weird thing about the Ares Inferno there. It's that time
did the
again.
thing.
Seen a lot here. What am I? Oh, I recognize that. Damn. That thing is huge. When is the Pioneer supposed to come in?
Supposedly at the end of this year / beginning of next.
I wonder if he has my ironclad listed.
If you haven't updated yours, then no.
What do I gotta do for that real quick? I can submit that.
Fleet Yard. It's through Fleet Yard.
That's on RSI. It's been years since I've...
No, it's a separatized website.
Oh.
It's just Fleet Yards.
I
I don't know. I know Tay
FleetYard.com?
takes care of. Yeah.
Oh, that's not it. That's luxury cars job listing.
Hang on, I'll send you a link to it. Yards.net.
Let's see what's going on.
Oh, also, I'll send you.
Did you get your sticks?
2 days, my friend. 2
Oh, man.
days.
All right.
Boom.
Let's see. Do I need to create an account on this?
You should already have one. I think back in the day that I think Tay set up an account for like you and somebody else. I think Gigs and somebody else too.
Oh shoot. Well, I'll have to hit him up for the login details because I definitely don't have that stuff.
Yeah,
I'll try to set a reminder to do that later so I can add my fleet to our list because I'm pretty sure it needs to be updated as well.
yeah, because I know we still have your Syracuse in there and some other stuff.
Yeah, yeah, you should have my mole and some other things, but I think my Raylan
Yep.
too because I see two Raylands there.
Yep.
Cool.
But
I
yeah, I
was in a
did the same.
reclaimer and took a player's ship apart, then died going to clear my status. Oh no! Shoot, how long are you stuck in Klesher? Man, that's a hell of a way to start your day. Well, if your day is starting. I'm out of context because my day is starting. I decided to do something dumb yesterday. My buddy Barris was streaming, and he had this thing where anytime he died in Black Myth Wukong, he had to do 10 push-ups. So I took the challenge with him. So anytime he died, we both would do 10 push-ups, and by the end of the night, we had each done 160 push-ups.
Oh God, I died.
I mean, it wasn't so bad. Like once I caught up to him, because he had already done 60, so I had to make up that gap, right? So I busted out 40, went and used the restroom, and then came back in and busted out another 20, and then it was just sets of 10, bro, sets of 10 every time he died. I was like, man, imagine if I did something like that, where I had to do 10 push-ups every time something happened with my whole C or in Star Citizen. I was like, I'd be at 100 push-ups in the first 30 minutes. Ooh, that asteroid's a little close. Let's kind of go away from that.
Yeah, I sent you a picture via message.
Then died to clear my status was 4 hours. Got it down to under an hour, man. You're close. The freedom is getting close. Let me see what's up. Oh. Oh, you got him. I thought you said 2 days until you get him. My bad.
No, in 2 days. They were here in 2 days.
Holy shit. So
Two.
it did surprise you.
Yeah, they shipped Friday evening. They were here at 11 a.m. this morning, or excuse me, 12 noon. They were here at noon.
Oh, it's awesome. And how have you liked the stick life?
It's taking some adjusting,
It's
but I'm
different.
enjoying it.
As long as you've been keyboard and mouse, yeah, it's gonna definitely take some adjustment.
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right.
Went and did some racing with it. Realized I made my own self mad because I know the line that I cut when I'm like on mouse and keyboard and the stuff that I can pull off on mouse and keyboard, and I couldn't do it with sticks, and it was making me real mad.
Damn. I'm sure it'll just
But
be
it's
a bit of a
practice.
learning curve, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've flown with sticks before. It's been a while, and not sticks like these. That's for sure.
Yeah, I could imagine. What sticks thinking about getting them? So we're running. We both got the VKB NXTs. He went double Omni. I went just throttle Omni, which means slanted versus straight up. Which, if you don't mind, I can pull your image up over the stream to show everybody what you got.
Yeah, there's nothing in there that I don't think.
Let me just make sure my whole C's not pointing at anything important here. There we go. Just the box we're heading towards.
I don't
So-
think I've got anything there that's
Hide your
Yeah, no.
paraphernalia. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, no.
I'm gonna share with the class, as I say. So these are the. Oh, damn it! What happened? Where'd it go? Clicked out of it. Yeah, these are the VKB Omni NXT Evos. He got them in double slant with the actual switchboard, which is really cool. This is what I'm running as well, except my right stick or my control stick is not the Omni. It's straight up. Which you said you're kind of trying it out, right, to see if you're gonna go.
Yeah, I got both.
Yeah.
So, I'm actually really enjoying the slanted aiming. Believe it or not, that's actually
Really?
That's been
I was
pretty nice.
I was curious if that was gonna be something that you would like or not.
Yeah, it's been pretty nice because you do the majority of your aiming with your arm instead of your actual wrist control, which my wrist control from years of air hammers and air chisels is not the
Oh, I see. Yeah. It really does change the orientation of how you're moving around. Like, I love it on my throttle stick because it feels like a throttle, like actually pushing forward and pulling back.
yeah.
Did you change your springs at all, or did you run with the standard 20s?
I've still got 20s on the throttle side. I have the 30s on the aiming side.
Wow, I did it backwards. I increased the stiffness of my throttle and left my aiming at 20 because the 30 on aiming felt way too heavy.
I
Walled
like
up
that.
saying no pedals. I don't have a spot to really mount some good pedals with this desk. I might in the future at some point. I know one of our buddies has a full pedal setup and everything.
Yeah, I like that like resistance I get because it helps me stay on target.
Wow. Okay.
But that's just myself personally.
Yeah, I tried running with the heavy 30s, and I even tried running with the lighter 10s, but I mean, the 10s you could breathe on and would move. That was definitely a big no.
Yeah, but the 30s on the aiming is definitely definitely I like that that feel.
And no, Kevin, actually, they were, what, mine, I want to say they were 175 each?
Yeah, so total out the door with the shipping and the extension module, it was like 541.
And that's with the extra switchboard and all.
Yeah, that's with the extra switchboard and the shipping. You gotta think VKB kills you on the shipping.
Yeah, yeah. And you only had
But
to
they were
wait
here in
how
2
long?
days.
2
2
days?
days.
Yeah,
2 days.
so that's insane. So Charlie Mike, he got it in 2 days. It took me just over a week to get him. Still, it was pretty fast. And I want to say that my combined cost was probably around $350, maybe $400.
Thank you.
It's hard. I'd have to look into my receipts to see.
Question: did you choose DHL or FedEx?
I don't remember, honestly. I think
Good.
I think I chose FedEx.
Because I chose DHL, and that may have been the difference.
Wow, so we were only 2 SU physically shy, but we were registered a lot more than 2 shy.
Yeah.
That's great. Wonder if it'll let me close the ship.
Yeah, but I wanted to pop in and
Yep.
say hi. Let you know I
Damn.
got my sticks and stuff. I gotta roll off.
All right, man. It's cool to see you and see the sticks, dude. I hope that's a good time. I'm gonna. Well, yep, we're getting the solar panel glitch in the whole sea right now.
Yeah, probably. Maybe I know you're not gonna be on during the weekend. Maybe Monday morning we'll get some seat time in.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time, dude.
I'm not so beat up from overtime.
I bet, bro. I mean, especially after you had recovered from not feeling too great, too. Ugh.
Yeah, we're on. Dude, we're doing like some of the guys in there are doing 60. I've been like last week was 55. This week I'm 54, and I'm just like I don't want to go to bed.
Yeah, get that rest, brother.
All right, buddy. I'll catch you later, mate.
All right, man. See ya.
Hi.
So yeah, guys, we got gypped even more than the 2 SCU. We're still well within probably about a 90% mark of the true value of turn-in, so we shouldn't lose any experience. I am going to watch, though, you know, get an idea of where we're at. We're just a bit past the R here. I'm going to go ahead and submit, which I don't like doing. All right, let's see how much that affected us. All right, cool. So we still gained experience. Tiny bit, but we gained. Which is good. Now we've got our solar panel glitch, as I call it, where they don't all reflect as actually being stowed properly. Make sure we're not going to hit anything. I want to partial jump and actually bedlog and server hop to see if we have some better luck in a different server, because this is definitely acting weird. Not to fan. Let's do a little partial jump to Terra. And then we will give it another shot. I didn't check to see how much money that might have been, too. Wasn't a whole lot. It wasn't really a big mission to begin with. Alright. Let's go ahead and go shields up. Engines off. We'll go take a seat. Eek, that's half a grand. Yeah. I mean, you guys don't even want to know how much I spent on just one Verpal stick that I don't even use now because it's just too big and bulky for my desk and couldn't really justify buying a second one. But yeah, the space throttle is definitely something that I'm interested in as well because it just seems like it's built for this game. Of course, they would tease that they're going to be coming out with that space throttle like shortly after I get this Omni stick. Gonna go up now because of, oh yeah. You know, that's true. You know, I guess we'll see what happens with regard to our flight sticks and all due to the tariffs. That's a good point. I will say, a lot of the world got off pretty lucky. We only hit them with about half the tariffs that they hit us with. And it's registering my ship in landing area? Really? We are definitely not in a landing area right now. Think about how much brisket you could buy and cook. Right? Oh man, that's true. See, my whole C refuses to load cargo when in the box. I just get the loading cargo 0 message and the bar never moves. So frustrating. Yep. That's very common now, unfortunately. I had that happen yesterday, or shoot, when was it? I think it was trying to actually offload something on Wednesday's stream, maybe? And it wasn't moving. You know, we got there and it started to say offload, but it was just like permanently at 0. It kept doing a little clicking sound, but nothing would happen. And now, for some reason, I can't bed log out of my whole C. It's saying that it's registering our ship is in a landing area. Let me go ahead and jump a little further away. And that's the bathroom. I don't know where. How did I get here? What? This is so weird. Alright, we're gonna jump a little bit further out, and since our ship is stowed, or in its stowed position, I can even Alt F4 and see if maybe that'll shake things up a little bit. I never want to do Alt F4 while my ship is open. And actually, I bet if we try to open, it'll register that those aren't there. Yep. And now she's opening. And you can't cancel the opening animation. Has to run its cycle. So we'll do that. We'll let it finish opening. That looks cool. The jump point system over there. Super bright. Alright, now when we close it up, let's see if it fully closes or splines out. Didn't register that. Let's try again. There she goes. Alright. Now let's get a proper fold down here. Yep, no solar panel glitch. Looking good, looking good. Let's do another jump. Oh yeah, our engines are off. There he is. She's awake. I think I also checked to see if it's just that bed that's registering us as still near a landing zone, which is really weird. I'm going to go ahead and give it like a good 10 gigameters and see what happens. Happy 53rd... 54th? Wait, what did I miss? Did somebody just turn 54? Or am I being really dumb and I just don't get... Alright. Alright, let's go try another one of the beds. And then if that doesn't work, we'll Alt F4. Sort of reset our game since the ship is all closed up. Head up the top deck. Grab a rack. Rack out, as we'd say. Let's pick another one. Lie down. You equals your. Yeah, I think he was talking about how much overtime they've had. Yeah, he's been working his butt off. Alright. So this one doesn't show anything. So if you guys are used to that, you gotta look lower, but I don't know if I even can with this back bay. Oh, there it is. Wait. Come back. Log out ship in landing area. What is this? I can't even, like, screenshot that properly. Oh, but I can take a screen grab out of the video and then submit it to CIG. Yeah, it's not letting you belly log. It's like, log out ship in landing area. So you can't even... It's not registering that our whole sea is away from a station right now. which is why we are going to shard rip. Hit that Alt F4, and then pop back in game. No new hotfixes come out yet. It's all good. Let's see what we can do. So, I'm not gonna call the first mission success. I'm gonna keep it real honest and real cut and dry, guys. If we have to partial submit for any reason, it's a failure. So we'll try again though. We're at Magnus. I think we can take a couple contracts over to Terra, and we can take some big ones from Terra to either Magnus or Pyro. And we'll see. I was really hoping that at least these outer stations would stay functional versus our troublesome Everest Harbor. But I think the whole game might be experiencing some hits because of all the people that are on. We will not change shards, of course, because we Alt F forward, so we'll go right back in. And apologies, let me take care of my tickly nose real quick. Swear, man, I'll go through the whole day with no weird little itch sensation or anything, but I get on a live stream, and I don't know if it's my facial hair or what, just driving me crazy, making me feel like I have to constantly itch my nose. And I don't want to be doing that on stream the whole time. Have a little bit of class. Alright, we are here. Almost jumped in my tractor beam seat for no reason. First chat I see on Global is Little Pig Run Away. Lovely. Oh yeah, the first thing I wanted to actually try was if the bed logging is actually going to work now, which I would doubt, you know, if I'm being honest. We'll see. Up the top. I think without more server power, whole C is going to be parked a bit. Yeah, I think that's a fair bet. But hey, I mean, you can count on me to sit instead of lie down. Fail. I was going to say, you can count on me to continue testing, man. So I will try to keep everybody appraised to the whole C situation. Right now, it does seem to be a hanger ornament, so to speak. Hopefully we get back here real soon. Yep, still registering me as being near a landing area. There's definitely some weirdness going on. It was doing this earlier too. So I tried messing with... Oh, I did try messing with it yesterday a little bit, but I couldn't bed log, and I ended up getting glitched out. So we definitely need some love. The server is not registering the whole C as being away from a landing area, which there might be some internal issue there that's even bigger as to how it's performing. Let's get back to our advanced MFD for nav. Oh, it should be. Oh, there it is. Alright, let's get turned around back to Magnus and see if we can make some stuff happen here. Engines on. One of the worst tariff culprits appear to be an island inhabited by only by penguins. What? Think without more... Or, yeah, I got the rep done. Which, I mean, that's good. So you're inexperienced right now, is what you're saying? It's no bueno. Mining is having issues also in Stanton. Rocks won't scan. I've stepped away from the game for now until some things are fixed. Yeah, I don't blame you guys. Again, I was pretty sure with everything they were going to add to 4.1 that it'd be a little busted. But hey, I mean, feel free to use me, guys, as a bit of a temperature check for how, you know, Star Citizen is doing. I'll be here to test it and show you all what's going on, and you can watch me and all my little failures as they happen. Yeah, I don't want to keep putting money in the swear box. I feel you, dude. I manufacture things out of steel in USA and Canada. Yeah, so that's some serious work. Then import electronics from Taiwan and go... Oh, yeah. you're gonna have first-hand account of what's of the state of the trade and such. Man. Well, I hope for you as a worker that, you know, things don't get worse, or if they get bad, they're not bad for too long. I saw the breakdown of how the tariffs were established, and I will say, man, I think that the world got off easy, for being honest. We hit them with pretty much 1% over half of what they tariff us on everything. So, like, I think, what was it, Japan tariffing us about 46%, so we hit them with 24%. So, I mean, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. But I know it's going to be painful for a while, and hopefully this causes more vertical integration in our own country, here in the U.S., I should say specifically, allowing for manufacturing and everything to be built up. I mean, we'll see if the plan actually shakes out the way the administration wants, or if it's going to be more of a nightmare than it's worth. Time will tell, right? And I feel for you, Fish. I would love for you to keep me appraised on that. That'd be cool. See how it's going on.
Thank you for
Yeah, we will see, guys. We will see. Feel free to here, let me get my whole scene under control real quick. Oh, we don't have any missions yet. That's why it won't let me do that. Cool. I'm actually going to send you guys a link real quick to my political channel, because it would be awesome for my buddy and I to have a podcast episode actually talking about this stuff. We run a podcast called K&M Tactical Discourse, where our goal, because we're not aligned specifically to one party or another. I'm not a Republican. I'm registered as one, but I've always been, you know, slightly left of center. I guess now I'd be geared up, or mentioned as being slightly right of center. But yeah, we have to get back into it. We only have a couple of episodes out from before the election even happened, so it's been a while. You know, we've been really busy, but this is our channel, K&M Tactical Discourse. If you guys want to, you know, message, oops, I was gonna say message us on there, or put in comments, let us know what you're thinking about things, and we can actually discuss these on the pod, and I can use perspectives from people who are actually going to be affected by these tariffs to kind of give an idea of what's going on and see both sides of the coin, you know, inside and outside of the U.S. If you guys are interested. I mean, I know that, like, on the Star Citizen channel, I'm going to try to keep it as apolitical as possible, just to not really bother too many people. I love talking about this stuff, though. I love the hard conversations. I love actually getting into the gritty of this thing. So if you guys want K&M Tactical Discourse here, and my buddy Mugen and I will be getting back into this podcast. You can find us on YouTube at KM Discourse. I'll actually put it in the chat. This is how you can find us on X as well as YouTube for the political pod. And we'll also have, like, you know, 2A content with our firearms and stuff. I can't believe that's almost got 4,000 views. I got to do a lot more firearms content. But yeah, you know, that little note aside, I love getting into the hard conversations, religion, politics, and everything else. I just don't want to alienate or, you know, overly burden folks who are here to watch us play a space game. But you are more than welcome to hit me up with the comments there. Alright, let's see if I can grab a contract real quick. And feel free, you know, I'm also very much for free speech, guys. The only thing I ask is that we all just remain gentlemen and adults, and if you disagree with things, you know, agree like classy adults, agree to disagree, whatever. As long as the conversation's respectful, go for it. I'm a free speech guy. Let's see if we can get anything from Magnus out of here. I don't really want to go to Everest, though. Let's go up a bit. Magnus Terra. Why don't we do that? Tiny little 141k mission, but it's something. Am I still close enough to call the box? What up, Blackbird? Oh, yeah, big firearms guy. In fact, oh, shoot, I don't have it with me. It's in my room. I usually have my 365 fuse sitting here next to me. Yeah, I'm a big firearms guy, prior military. Very much for free speech, the Second Amendment, freedom, all the things. It's one of the reasons I'm happy to be back in the free state of Florida. Alright. Once we get into Quantum, I'll run and grab it. I'll show it off.
Hello, and thank you for
Yeah, keep with the space game. Yep. See, I agree with that sentiment. Like, I don't want to be pushy with people. If a couple of people in the chat are having a good conversation, I don't want to necessarily stop that or interrupt it, especially, you know, there's contextual relevance too. But yeah, let's just keep it respectful. And again, I mean, feel free, like, if you got strong opinions or ideas, or you want to see it covered, shoot us a comment over there on KM Tactical Discourse, KM Discourse, because we would love to get into it. Oh, there's another whole sea here. And I was actually in the U.S. Navy. That's what actually took me out to San Diego, California. I served on the USS Carl Vinson. Big old aircraft carrier. I was a weapons guy. Honestly, not the fun weapons. I wasn't a small arms guy. I wasn't in G4 on our ship. I dealt with the bombs, missiles, all the support equipment. I mean, I was really a glorified grease monkey. I was basically a mechanic for bombs and missiles for fighter jets, as well as the trailers and everything that carried them. Pretty rapid response to this station, grabbing up cargo, so that's a good sign. Yeah, Everest is super buggy with the current server loads of the line and mine. I mean, the whole game right now is pretty buggy, but eh. Today I'm going to do meetings and then golf and pub. Hell yeah, Fish. Yeah, you got to enjoy what you can, bro. For sure. Politics is way too toxic at the moment. You seen any UFOs? No. No, I mean, as far as, like, things we just don't know what they are, sure, I call those UFOs. We don't know what it is. That doesn't mean it's a little green man. Nah. U.S. Marine Corps, Semper Fi, brother, hell yeah. I mean, we were pretty much brothers in arms in a large degree, because we would transport you badasses into the main battle zones and let everything else happen. If you don't mind, what was your, I'm not as familiar with, rating systems or anything, but what was your MOS? Were you on the tech side, or were you more actual infantry combat? I went to A school in Pensacola, Florida, and we had a lot of Marines there, but they were all aviation tech side of things. I worked with a guy in the U.S. Navy years ago, nuclear engineer. Oh yeah, I was almost a nuclear engineer on the aircraft carrier. I would have taken it, except for all the nukes that, that's what we call them, all the nukes said don't. If you want to enjoy your life, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's a horrible job.
Warning, you are blocking an active flight.
Okay.
Please vacate.
We literally just finished loading. Are you kidding me? Tell you what, man. I'll be having some things to say to these master-at-arms at these stations. Infantry riflemen. Respect, dude. That is freaking awesome. Before I was chasing my high school sweetheart, that's actually what I was going to do. And then I followed her ass to Texas. That didn't work out. I ended up depping into the Navy out of Texas. Went up to Great Lakes, Illinois for boot camp. Jumped down to Pensacola for A school. And then sent out to San Diego, California to serve on the Carl Vinson for my term. And I got to fire the 50 cal cannon off the side of the aircraft carrier, which is sick. I got weapons qualled and everything I could, but definitely didn't really see anything but the inside of a big-ass ship for my entire service. Which I don't mind. I mean, I like being on ships and such. It's one of the reasons that I wanted to join. Alright, let's go ahead and set course for Terra. But hell yeah, it's always great to have another brother in arms in the chat. Let's go. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Whoa, over compensation. Let's realign there. There she is. Oh yeah, no doubt, dude. It's a special kind of group of guys to be able to handle going out there on the front lines and getting shit done. And most of my most cherished relationships are from my boys in the military. I mean, we just became inseparable, and even years later in our civilian lives, man, we're all in the same group chat, same Snapchats. We're actually hoping to all have a big boys get-together sometime in late July, get everybody together in an Airbnb out here in Clearwater somewhere and just have a good time, maybe do some fishing, hang out. I love it, Charlie Mike. The tariffs don't seem to have affected the price of gasping weevil eggs or RMC, so we should be good. Hell yeah, brother. Yep. I don't know. Apparently, it's affected the maintenance crew who handles the whole sea or something. You know, we need to figure out what's going on there. Oh, we loaded up with that pretty well. We'll see. Magnus and Terra might be the way, guys. I don't know. I don't want to say that it's gonna work. Everest is not great. I've had a lot of trouble over at Pyro Gateway. But let's see how Magnus to Terra runs. We'll do a couple of back and forths over here. Had a mostly good relationship with the Navy guys. I was on the USS America for my deployment. You guys for sure had some fun, especially after you're stuck at sea for a while. Bro. Yeah. Yeah, depending on how long you've been with a Navy crew and they've been out to sea, it can get a little weird. It can get a little weird. Especially if we're crossing the equator. Oh, man. Wait, like your game crashed or like you physically crashed into something? Because if your game crashed, then maybe you can load back in kind of like when you Alt F4 and everything's good. But if your boat crashed, then yeah, that's big sad face. Actually, I should probably ask before I show off anything. Does Twitch cry about seeing firearms on video? Because I was going to run and grab my piece and show it off to Blackbird. Yeah, the shellback, you know it, dude. Oh, gosh. Getting recognized as a shellback. I mean, my first day into the weapons hangar to get greeted with the rest of the guys in G3 was to literally wrestle. They wanted to see, you know, if you were gonna turn it down or be a man and actually do it. And they threw down the challenge to me, and before they could even start taunting, I was already taking off my watch, taking off my my top. I was like, all right guys, let's get this over with. And they just all started laughing, and we had a good time tumbling around the weapons magazine before we got stuck in a bit of a stalemate and had to hop up as it was either first class or chief that was coming in. Yeah, crashed the game. I was just about to run out of the elevator. Boom, crashed to desktop. That was the first time. And oh, yeah. So hopefully if you pop back in, you'll be all right. Yeah, double. That's what I figured. Twitch is, I mean, if we're being real, guys, Twitch is pretty weak with that stuff. I had a feeling that if I was to show off my gun, they would not be very happy. But I'm planning to get a lot of that content on YouTube, especially from an educational standpoint, good firearms practices and control and such. Yeah, I don't want to test it, especially because on Twitch, I'm actually going through the process to get set up with affiliate and maybe even working my way to partners. So I'd rather not mess with that, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, on that other channel, on KM Tactical, there will be 2A content, hopefully range days, going over different weapons, good practices and such. The importance of the Second Amendment here in the U.S. and why all free nations should probably have it. But yeah, that's more talk for another time, another channel. My cousin just retired from the Navy. Hell yeah. 20 years. No, that's good. That's the standard before you actually officially retire. And then you have lifers that'll go 30, 40, 50 that'll just keep staying in a different circumstance. I probably would have been one of those lifers myself. Had a week in Vegas, something about guns is quite addictive, but happy not to have one. I'd lose it. Oh, yeah, you wouldn't want to lose it. That's definitely an item that you would want to keep track of. Crashed again. Oh, boy. Oh, so I don't remember the exact way. I had somebody who fixed it. There was an issue with one of their folders, their memory folders, not reading their RAM properly because this person, Katie, she had 64 gigs of RAM DDR5, and it was a problem for the game. Another commenter had said that she had to change her memory folder back to registering as like a 16 gig or 32 gig for the game to work properly. And she says that fixed it. That is all kind of like way over my head. So I don't know if anybody in chat understands that stuff better and can maybe suggest the fix to double digital a little bit more, if that might be something that's happening. I don't know how much gig you're running with, or how much RAM I should say, rather. I'm running 64 and I've never had any issues, but I don't know, it's weird. It can be pretty hit or miss with individual experiences. I'll have to sub to your other channel too, Love 2A. Yeah, it's if you need the link again, let me know, but you should be able to find it at KM Discourse. It's my lifelong best friend, and he's actually got me beat so far. He's got a beautiful case with a Sport and Smith & Wesson Sport 3 AR and 2 handguns. He had a case custom made for it, and we're really wanting to get out and do range days together and just have a good time. No, not your actual game memory, but your RAM folder. Like it's one of your folders. Oh, I see what you're saying. So you have an issue of having too little space. Yeah, that could be it. Might have to delete a game or two to make that work. Man, what a pain. I know that I'm constantly, because of my YouTube content and such, I have to be careful not to like let my footage sit too long on my computer, because it'll just be gigabytes. And before I know it, like my PC is like overloaded. I'm like, damn, I gotta go clean it out because there's just too much crap. Alright, hopefully this is a successful drop-off. Awesome, Blackbird. Cool to have you, man. Yeah, hopefully... I'm going to be touching base with them, and I'm actually hoping that maybe we can get our next episode out of the pod on Sunday. It's probably what we're going to end up doing is recording on Sunday. So the pod will probably drop maybe that Monday or Tuesday. And then as we're trying to spool back up, it might be an every 2 weeks kind of a podcast. It would be nice if we could do it weekly. We'll have to see. As far as the firearms content, that'll depend as well. I actually need to do a review on the holster I've been using forever now. I've got the Tier 1 Concealed Aegis Elite appendix carry holster that I've been using. And surprisingly enough, my first little 2-minute video just describing having gotten it got almost 4,000 views. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? There we go. Now we got our cargo box. Go ahead and start our D-cell. Full retro thrust. Please, oh please, work. It'd be so nice if you worked. For all Hull C pilots everywhere. It's only 500 SCU, 522, so it shouldn't be too bad. Ooh, coming in a little hot. Looks like I'll stop just in time. Yeah, buddy. Alright, I know we're fully stopped. I'm just going to give it a second before I jiggle the stick around. It's only 500, man. This should be easy. Yeah, actually, one of the reasons that I went with an appendix carry was for driving. And I know it might sound a little counterintuitive, but I was actually really surprised that how doable it is, because I'll be sitting in the car from anywhere from like 10 to 14 hours a day sometimes. Not as much now, because I'm trying to really focus on this content, so I'm actually not in my car as much for work. But yeah, I was running around with two, because the holster I have has an extra slot for an extra magazine. And I was running with the extendeds, which are two 21-round mags. And that wasn't too comfortable, and it was starting to kind of like mark up my seatbelt because of how big the extra magazine was. So I went down to the flush fit 17-round mags and the fuse, and that feels great. Super comfortable. There we go. Jiggled around a little bit. We're dropping off properly. Yeah, shoulder would be pretty cool, but for my line of work, I can't have any bit of it visible, so I'd have to wear a jacket to keep the shoulder holster out of sight. Otherwise, I would love to do that. It's just too hot here in Florida to be running everywhere with a jacket on. But if I was somewhere a little colder, man, I'd probably be rocking a shoulder holster every day. I would have, if there was a really nice ankle holster that was worth a damn, I probably would have done that, but I need to get something quite small to make that happen. And I've got some pretty large hands, so I pretty much went with the strategy to get something that is as big as you can comfortably carry day to day. And I damn near went with a full 320. The 365 Fuse is kind of like in that middle space between a compact and a full size. It's pretty much the same dimensions as a 320, but just a little thinner. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh. Ooh. Man, I feel for you, brother. That state is constantly under gun control attack. Yeah, it works well with flannels. Yep. That's actually got a couple of flannels in the closet that I just can't really wear because they're just too hot. But yeah, I feel for you, man. Being in Colorado, I cannot believe that they're actually trying to make detachable magazines banned, like illegal. And then they had to back out on that because it was just immediately shut down, and now they're trying to make it overly expensive to where you just wouldn't even be able to afford anything with the detachable magazines. Yeah, you come to Florida, bro. Florida or Texas, man. You will never find states that are more friendly to the Second Amendment than Texas or Florida. It's wild to think about. Alright, while we're at Terra, let's go ahead and grab that senior contract back to Magnus. Apologize if anybody is bothered by the Second Amendment chat. You know, we're a couple of gun guys and we just love it. I mean, hey, guns are relevant to Star Citizen. We talk about guns all the time. Big ship guns. Let's go. And 7 up. We just passed it. There it is. This should be the one. Senior rank, Terra to Magnus. It's damn near full load, 4230. The little 500 worked, but I don't really put a whole lot of weight in that because, of course, the little 500 should have worked. Is Hero Bis in a Hull C? I think he was the other guy we saw here. Can't wait to see all the Hull Cs. So you can't load up the way you would want to at Magnus. There are 2 experience missions, I think, at Magnus that go to Pyro. That would get you like maybe up to about 1,000 SEU. The one that we delivered to Terra was only about 500, but I like anytime I'm going anywhere, I like to be loaded up with something. I don't want to go empty. Because Terra's got a couple of the really good missions, the senior rank and the senior and one of the experienced 698k ones. Typically going to either Pyro or Magnus. And on this build, I have a suspicion that most of us are going to want to stick between Magnus and Magnus and Terra gateways for now. That's what I'm verifying, is I'm going to run back and forth between Magnus and Terra. And the one from Magnus to Terra is only 141k and it's 500 SCU, but it gets you back to Terra with more than nothing versus just going back to Terra and running the 700k senior mission over and over. So to me, it's worth doing it that way. Again, I just kind of take the same old sort of hauling mentality of not going anywhere with an empty trailer, just wasting your time, so to speak. Alright, let's come back to a stop here and see if we can actually unload properly. We're pretty pro-gun here in the Baltics. Hell yeah, good shit. I love Florida. The beaches are way better than Cali, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, you're preaching to the choir, bro. At least out here in Florida, you can go to the beach and not freeze the second you put your toe in the water. And, I mean, honestly, I tell most people this, because I lived in California for 11 years. San Diego, of all places. Beautiful place. The state is gorgeous. It's just a mess of chaos, especially after the virus hit. It's just the leadership, the crime, cost of living, everything is driving that state crazy. And it sucks, because it is truly a beautiful place. The climate, the food, the landscape, it's gorgeous. It's just not worth the pain of living there. Florida, for about 70% of the year, is basically San Diego weather. It only gets to be really tough here in the summertime. And then you have hurricane season, which, as long as you buy a house like I did kind of in central Florida, you're fine. Especially after 2008, 2010, all the homes are built up to hurricane code. As long as you make sure you're not in a flood zone, which we're not. You know, we handle the hurricanes like a boss. We used our Teslas to power our internet and our refrigerator. I was actually evacuating people from danger zones in my Model 3 while everybody else was lined up for like miles to get gas and gas was running out. I had no problem going up to a supercharger, filling up in like 20 minutes, heading back out to Tampa to save some more people. I managed to evacuate 4 people just because of the distances driving right before Hurricane Milton hit. That was really cool. You know, it was a really badass welcoming back to Florida to be able to do that. Kind of satisfied a little bit of my hero complex. But yeah, it's great, man. I'm hoping to have the new Model Y shortly after summertime and have a boat by the end of the year maybe and just really enjoy living that Florida lifestyle. We'll see. I would love to be able to just make content and go fishing and just live it up, dude. I have had to hold back on dropping credit cards on weapons. I want so many guns. But I'm like, no, let's chill. We got our main priority: home defense, self-defense, daily carry, my everyday carry for now. So I'm waiting. I want to revamp my PC and build up with all kinds of stuff. So like, I have so many things I want to do, and I'm just like, chill out, bro. Just chill out. Just chill out. All right, we are definitely not done loading here. There we go. It's still loading. There are a fair bit of regulations. Yeah, I'm trying to load up my whole C and do some grinding before PoE 2 drops. PoE. Help me out here. I'm failing to know what that is. Yeah, no, dude. Yeah, you want to know cold? The Baltic Sea is definitely that. Gonna download the new GFX drivers. Yeah, smart. Yeah, it felt really good to help people out. The last girl I got from Sarasota took her to Miami, and we ended up dodging, no exaggeration, guys, probably 60 to 70 tornado warnings. I saw 2 tornadoes, fortunately going the opposite direction I was going. It was a hell of a time, dude. Path of Exile 2. Okay, gotcha. Alright, I think it says we're fully loaded, and I'm just going to back out of here before this damn station tries to wind pound me. And Blackbird gun list. So, this might sound a little weird depending on your opinion of Keltec, but one of my dream guns has always been the RFB, the Keltec RFB, the rifled forward ejecting bullpup. Hopefully you still respect me after this. I am a slut for bullpup rifles, dude. I just love how they feel. I want to get an RFB. I want to get a Tavor 21, the Israeli rifle. I even want to mess around with maybe the Springfield Hellion. I don't know as much, but after I get my Keltec RFB, probably in the 18-inch barrel versus the 21, I'm going to go for the KSG shotgun. The Keltec KSG shotgun is just incredible, and I definitely want to have a good shotgun for home defense. So yeah, I wanted to go handgun, rifle, shotgun, and then play around with everything else I want. As far as, I definitely would like to get another SIG 320. I would love to get a couple of Canics. I like to build a classic AR as well. Man, so many things I would love to get into. I actually would love to join the P90 gang, P90S. I finally got to shoot one of those. That was a good time. Yep, the one that poops the brass out the front. You know it, dude. 7.62 rounds, ejecting off the slide right out of the front of the rifle. It's so cool, dude. I love that gun. I might even get an RDB, the downward ejecting, but the RFB has always been a childhood favorite of mine. It was like the only marksman rifle I would ever use in Battlefield. And I've always been fascinated with it. I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they made their handgun. That thing just looks like a mess. But their RFB, their RDB, and their KSG, those are exciting. Oh, yeah, you've got a 21. Damn it. Yeah, I really want one of those. I'm also, man, I'm telling you guys, I want to do all the things. I didn't realize how cool, how kick-ass, and, like, real-life immersion airsoft has gotten. But I grabbed a green gas-powered airsoft SIG 320, and I swear it feels just like the real thing. Weighted, the magazine, even pulling the slide off, getting into everything. And you can get, basically, you can get a Keltec RDB airsoft. You can get the Tavor airsoft. You can get all these things. You can get a freaking Mark 14 rifle. You know, pretty much anything you can think of, you can get an airsoft. And I mean, I like to stay, you know, fit and healthy and run around and do stuff. And I might see if my buddy Mugen that does the K&M pod with me, if he wants to get into airsoft, my wife might even be willing to do it. But that would just be a kick-ass time, dude. Give us a reason to go out there with our guns and just go ham without having to worry about the actual permanent side effects of using your wireless hole puncher on somebody. My old man's got a PS90, so much fun, especially now that the ammo is getting slightly better. Yeah, I had a pain in the ass of a time trying to load that magazine. So what's really cool, I'm a member over here at Leadfeather near where I live. I got the Platinum membership, and you can rent any of their guns that they have for rent for shooting for free. You just have to pay for the ammo and your target. So I grabbed the PS90, and by the time I got the 20 failed to let them know it died. So I get this thing loaded in with half capacity out of its 50-round magazine, and I load it up on top, which is freaking cool. It felt really great to do that. And then I go and I pick it up and I look at my sight picture, blank. Like, son of a... So, I mean, I still shot the hell out of it. I dumped that whole magazine. I loaded up another 24, 25 rounds, and I did that as well. And I was basically blind firing it. I hit the target. Not as accurate a grouping as I'd like with a blind sight picture, but still, I mean, it was fun. And it was a free rental. You ever thought about doing one of those? Oh, man, I would love to do a Milsim event. I would get into that, dude. I mean, I love immersion in video games, too. I was actually a part of in Battlefield for a little while. I was a part of a little Milsim group. But they were some little overly ambitious kids. They wanted to give me a write-up when I went out of town for my brother-in-law's wedding. And I was like, considering I'm the only one of us here who's actually served in the military, you can take that write-up and shove it up your ass. And I left the group. I was like, come on, dude. Like, I am all for having fun and, you know, chain of command and, you know, getting into character. But you want to take it into my personal life? No. We're not going to do that. But, you know, that aside, I love the immersion of getting into, like, Milsim stuff, man. I'd be ready. Let's go. And now I'll have to take a look at Path of Exile. I haven't seen that. I know I was watching my buddy Barris play Black Myth Wukong, and that looked like a lot of fun. And I've heard a lot of good things about Baldur's Gate. I haven't had the time to really go around and play a lot of other games, just with my schedule. I'm hoping that, you know, in another few months that things will even out a little bit for me. Have a good time. Let me double check and make sure. It'd be hilarious if there was something wrong with Twitch just because I'm even talking about it. I'm like paranoid. I don't know. Looks like Twitch is good. How much making on your runs with the whole C? I just saw that comment from like an hour ago. Damn, I am sorry, Smoke Pit Gaming. If you're still around, I just had a total brain fart. Should be making around 700k on these larger missions if they work properly. I haven't done like an hourly check, like how much can I make in an hour, just because it hasn't been reliable enough to really do enough missions to actually gauge that in a reasonable way. I still like to at some point. Yo, Inner Hype, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Yeah, we're doing more of our whole C testing here. This is one of the bigger loads, and hopefully it'll drop off properly. We'll see. Got about another 30 gigs till we're back at Magnus. Had a nightmare of a time trying to do anything out of Everest Harbor. And was not having a whole lot of luck out of Pyro Station either. That was a real pain. But I think if this works consistently for a couple of missions back and forth, we might be sort of relegated to Magnus and Terra until they do something to strengthen the servers on 4.1. We've only gotten one hotfix and one case of server maintenance, and they rolled the hotfix into live, and hopefully we get some more coming up soon. They can do some things. I know some people have had mixed success with their Align and Mine endeavors. I would like to get into that as well. At some point, I might try to be home a little bit earlier today so I can get into a little bit more Star Citizen gaming during the actual daytime, get an actual video or two out. I need to get a couple of videos out for both channels. Busy. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, it's about 4:30. We got some time. We're chilling. From what I'm hearing, too, the mining and salvage gameplay is a little rough right now as well. If I had to guess, it's just pretty much all gameplay is rough. Haven't really heard much about the Pyro system. Pyro system might actually be rather empty right now compared to the rest of the game. Don't see anything in global chat that's of any value. All right. Given our proper load, we're going to have to utilize our turn and burn mechanics here. Hero Boy is still here. Hope he's having success with his cargo loads. See if we can get an idea of where these turrets and such are. We will start to full burn up to probably 350 meters a second. It's probably a good amount of speed. And then we'll start our turn and burn once we verified that there's nothing in front of us that we can hit. Yeah, don't crash into those turrets. You know it, dude. I'm pretty happy that I haven't in a while, you know, since that one really unfortunate encounter we had. I'm also just worried about the random asteroids and such that'll pop out. Alright. Looking clear. Let's start turn and burn. Put more power to engines. Once we get our ATC notification, it'll be a good time to burn. There we go. Full retro. Get all those aft engines cooking. See, rotating back from 300 meters a second put us too far out, but the time it took to get up to 330 meters a second is either going to be perfect or too much. She's trying, man. Reignite that boost. Oh, much. Yeah, I think that actually might have been perfect. It's right about the speed that I'd like to be at. Look at that, guys. What's up? Oh, that was beautiful. Right next to our box. Huh. Yeah, buddy. So the time it takes to get to roughly 330 meters a second. Then turn and burn. Start your burn when you see the notification for ATC to hit. And it gets you right about there with a full load. That was cool. Global chat sadly gone from a place for help to some weird kitty. Yeah, you're not wrong. Global chat has been on some shit lately. For a little while now, actually. Had a hard time with mining. My little bro got the golem with a plan of running the goods once processed. I clearly overestimated the state of the refined goods. Oh no. Man, that's not great. Alright, we're immediately getting our drop off now. So the reaction time between Magnus and Terra is pretty fantastic. The second I come to a stop, we are actually going through our offload procedures. So that's promising. Alright, guys. If you're having a hard time with your whole C, stick to Magnus and Terra. So, unfortunately, the Magnus to Terra run is rather small. It's 141k for about 500 or 600 SCU. And I think that's the only mission, which sucks. There's like 2 small missions to Pyro Gateway, but Pyro Gateway's been a big problem for me. 141k mission from Magnus to Terra, but then, at least in the senior contract, the 711k mission from Terra back to Magnus. Or maybe the 698k from Terra to Magnus. Keep your eyes out on which one is there. I had this awesome plan too, where I would carry spare golem bags in my MSR and do a spacewalk to switch them out. Sadly, it hasn't worked great. Damn! I know that's what a lot of us are looking forward to with running the golem out of like a C2. Or eventually when I get my ironclad, I want to have a couple of golems in there, and or actually even more so, a golem. And like, if they could do, I've said this on another stream, I want to see a Drake golem counterpart to the Prospector Misk Fortune twinning ships. You know, like, give me another ship like the golem, but it's just salvage. And then, hell yeah, you got a golem and whatever that ship is with your ironclad, you know, and you're good to go. This is why I stepped away. Had about 7 mil in refined goods. Took a week due to bugs, and then they wiped cargo 3 days before the end of the month, when the supply and die was supposed to end. Time and frustration. Yep. Completely understand, man. Sometimes you just gotta take a break, because things will drive you insane. Ah, I did it again. It's another partial submit. 4134 out of 4230. So, it's reactive, you know, and it's working out. Let's do a little check here. We got 4.86 million. Let's see how much money we get from this too. Let's go ahead and get out of here so we don't get impounded by these freaking mall cops. We'll do a partial submit, and at least with this much done, it shouldn't hurt us.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Yeah. Next time, take all my cargo. I mean, that's still a good 580k or so. Hang on, let me better math that a little bit, at least with an approximate. 5403 minus 4862. That's about what, 540k out of that 711 for that partial submit. So yeah, not great. I still don't consider that a success because we had to partial submit. Forget guns, ship's sexier. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Ironclad. It's basically a really big caterpillar, which has me excited. I totally just lost my orientation to the station, which is next to me. Okay. Been doing small cargo with my MSR, and I've had such a great time cracking a beer and doing some space trucking's relaxing. I agree, man. That's why I do love some space trucking out of my caterpillar. And eventually, you know, when this thing is working reliably, this will be the real trucker. I mean, exactly. I'll have a little snack, some drinks, throw on some music, and just go back and forth, have my contracts ready to go. Let's take a little look here while we're going through. We'll see if there's any other... it's always going to be Interstellar. We'll see if there's any other Magnus to Terras chilling. Terra to Everest. Most of it's going to Everest, which... Everest is like the hub, dude. That's where I really need that to function. Everest to Magnus. Pyro to Everest. Magnus to Pyro. Yeah, there's typically 2 Magnuses to Pyro, which is pretty good. Kind of like how the Starlancer is a big freelancer. Yeah, buddy. What's up, Matt? Did 5 runs yesterday and only 1 fully completed. Yeah. Yeah, I've had 2 partials today. Which, they were like 90 percentile partials, so that's good at least. Yeah, there's our Magnus to Terra right there. So we're going to take that one, 138k. Just because, again, my philosophy is don't go anywhere with an empty trailer, you know? Take advantage, because we're going back to Terra anyway, so we might as well carry a load back there. Magnus to Pyro. Terra to Everest. Everest to Pyro. Everest to Pyro. I'll even take a small one. Just give me something like Magnus to Terra small. I don't mind. Pyro to Everest. Freaking Everest, dude. Taking up all the goodies. If only Everest worked. Oh, we do have 2 Magnus to Terra today. Hell yeah. Let's see if there's... Alright, let's try our luck. Let's see if there's one more. That's way better. Even just 2 missions from Magnus to Terra is incredible. Because you can stack. There's no problem with stacking as long as you've got the actual cargo space for it. Which these are going to be smaller missions. Just making sure I don't miss any. Yep, okay. Oh, the day we get filters, man. Need somewhere to store the beer and... yeah. Hey, quick question. Is there a way to quick swap between clothes and an EVA suit? I could have sworn that was a feature when I played years ago. To my knowledge, not right now, unfortunately. That would be nice. It would actually make having those suit lockers mean something. It's funny when the servers were crap for everyone else, I made 9 runs a day with no issues with my whole sea. Now it's pray to the hauling gods that I get a mid-jump impound. Yeah, they're planning to bring quick swap back again. That'll be sweet. That'll actually make sure, or that'll make having those suit lockers actually have a point. Okay, yeah, we'll just take those 2. That's fine. I wonder if I can just use this current cargo box. That'd be lovely. We'll see. And not put my velocity indicator right at the station. It's always just a good habit to have it facing away. So yeah, having these 2 missions back makes me feel even better. right. There should be about 1,000 SU worth between the two missions. And roughly a little over 300k, I believe. It's been pretty reactive too, as far as when we first get in here. Yeah, there we go. We're already loading. So, though there's still some partials, at least they're in the 90 percentile partials, be careful. If you have something that's like under 50%, I don't know what the threshold is when you start losing rep. Just don't submit. Abandon it. You don't lose any rep for abandoning. You do lose a lot of rep if you partial submit well under. And if you have a case where your ship blows up and you lose all that cargo, or whatever the case, just log out. You know, you'll be fine. You won't lose your rep. I've heard, unfortunately, so many people saying that they've lost rep, which breaks my heart. Just don't do that. Don't partial submit unless you're like damn near submitting all of it. We should be almost there. Transfer complete. Let's get on to Terra. Ooh, I need to check fuel. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to refuel after this jump, likely. Bringing her about. There we go. At least the hovering over pads to refuel works. Alright, fellas, gotta sleep. Great talking to everyone. Catch you guys next time. Love the streams, man. Keep it up. Thanks, dude. I absolutely will. You get some rest, my friend. And we will definitely see you next time, dude. It's awesome having you here. And I mean, thanks to everyone who's been in here between YouTube and Twitch. You know, we've got a pretty consistent upper 20s to 30 viewers. That's awesome. I love that you guys are here hanging out with me as we try to get this big old boat to work. And yeah, Kevin, as far as refueling ships go, have we had any luck with anybody and their Starfarers? Like, are those actually functioning in a way that makes sense now, or? It'd be kind of cool, though, and maybe you're alluding to this, to have a sort of refueling ship tow service kind of thing you can call or something, like, you know, like a Star Citizen AAA. Be like, hey, I'm running low on fuel, guys. Can you send somebody out here to help me out? I can definitely see that being useful. Apologies, guys. Muted my mic. Don't need you to deal with all the eating sounds. Gotta get something in my system before I start getting ready to go to the gym here soon. Hopefully in the next day or two I'll have some of my pre-workout getting in. Last stuff I was on would make me feel sick. That was no fun. Yeah, and a request system. Yeah, I agree. That'd be really cool. Have some sort of in-game refueling function. I think the intent was for it to just be the other players around you, but problem with that is the Starfarer actually working properly and other players being trustworthy. I had at one point years ago, I had gotten a Starfarer Gemini because I wanted to be sort of that guy that went around refueling people. But at the time, I think the entire fueling system was messed up. Like, you couldn't do anything with it, or maybe it was specifically the Starfarer Gemini out of the two. I couldn't refuel anybody, though. My whole refueling system was completely dead. It was really dumb. I mean, I bought the ship in game, so that was also kind of annoying. I mean, ships were not as expensive back then, but still. I was like, come on, man. Bizzlemade here from the US. I came upon one of your recent cargo streams and watched the cargo tip video and helped a lot. Thank you for that. You're awesome. Well, man, I really appreciate it. I love more than anything to know that some of what I'm doing is helping people out, whether it's just making hauling and cargo make a little bit more sense, or be a little bit more simple, or give you ideas, or, you know, keep up with the progress on how certain ships are performing. That's one of the reasons I focus so much on the Hull C, because it's going to be the backbone of hauling. It's intended to be, at least. And it's definitely met with varying degrees of success. I've had a lot more success today, and the last couple of times I've done this, going between Magnus and Terra gateways. Go figure, they're also the farthest distances too. You know, it's a 120 gig jump between these stations. But still, I mean, if you're rocking something like an Erebus Quantum Drive, you get through that pretty quick. And you're making down and back, you know, about $1 million, you know, per round trip. If you're getting the 2 contracts, like, let's see, we're rocking with 2 experience rank missions right now. Not quite 300k, it's 279k. And just under about 1,000 SU of cargo heading to Terra. And then once we're at Terra, we can get the 700k mission back to Magnus. And I'm kind of just running this down and back a bit. We got another 15 minutes or so on stream before I need to get ready for the gym. I fly a C2 at the moment. We'll be experienced rank in 3 more missions. Hell yeah, dude. I will say, temper your expectations. I don't know if you have a Hull C. If you do, take it from me. Take the thing out to Terra or Magnus Station and run the experience ranks through there. If you don't have it, a C2 is actually probably one of the only other cargo ships that can handle some of the experience ranked missions, because you get up into the 600s in some of the SCU loads. My Caterpillar was actually not quite up to snuff to do it, unless I had like a buddy that's also in another Caterpillar, because you can actually split these missions with people, which is really cool. In fact, I'm going to try to remember to do this more often whenever I'm on live streams with everybody. But let me go ahead and put the invite to the Discord, which this group of people, really cool guys. All of us have, for the most part, a hauling focus or an industry focus, whether it's hauling, mining, scrap. And the whole idea of pulling people in is just to have more of us that like to haul and do the space trucking life and the industry gameplay together, to give us a spot to hang out, talk, crew up. I've got a couple channels set up for people who want to go mining, scrap, space trucking, and I want to be involved in it a lot more than I have been. Life's been a little hectic, but we've got a pretty solid amount. We've got about 30, almost 40 people now in there. And it's been a pretty good time. So if you guys want to jump in there, feel free to. Link is in the chat. We're popping in on Terra now to see how we do with this load. Can you do a haul in 2 to 3 trips, or does it have to be all at once? No, actually, yeah, you can totally do a haul in several trips, as long as you have the mission available. So you might have to go back and forth a bit to complete some of the bigger ones, but you can do it. So can I share my experience contracts with a buddy and he will gain rep? Yes. Yes, you can. I do not know if, like bounties, if we're still in a split money, split rep scenario. But what's really cool is you can, if you share the experience missions or whatever missions, you both have access to it in your own separate hangars wherever you're at. So he can pull cargo up from his cargo grid if you shared the mission, and you can pull it up from yours. So you can actually divvy out who's taking what where if you're going to separate locations. So you can sort of kind of get logistics involved and kind of send you guys out in 2 different directions. There's a lot of interesting hauling gameplay that I want to tinker with in that regard. Ooh. Proximity alerts. Oh, wow. Hello, fellow Hull C. Right below me. We popped out a quantum right next to each other. Ain't that a freaking screenshot and a half? Wow, I sounded so country there. Is that a derelict Hull C? It might be. That could have been a bad day. Alright, let's get our thrust indicator over here. It's nice when you don't have a full load, you just haul ass, man. Hero Abyss is over here, so cool. I think he's having some success with his hauling. I'll pop into global chat and see. Oops. How goes the Hull C running? I doubt that he'll actually see chat. A lot of people are out of chat. Awesome, Bizzle. Cool to see you join. Let me give you a proper intro over here. What's up, guys?
Hello, and thank you for contacting.
Sweet, I'll use the whole sea and let him fly while I'm in the captain's chair. Yes, live your Starship Captain fantasies, my friend. I love that. Do I have to send the cargo for the second trip back down or just leave it up? I would send it back down. I would be safe and send it back down. You might not need to. I just don't. I have a bad relationship with this thing known as Murphy, so I would send it down just to be on the safe side. All right, getting our rotation because vertical strafing is the way to handle maneuvers in the whole sea. There we go. Much better than lateral strafing, which is much slower. Same with rolling. Pretty much once you have a load, you don't really want to worry about lateral strafe or roll. Becomes essentially useless. We're only at about a quarter of our load capacity, so we actually still have some pretty good helm control. It's only when you get real full that it becomes a problem. Alright, let's pop a squat. And we should be able to drop everything in no problem. And I will say, Bizzle, I've not actually, done a hauling mission in 2 separate trips before. But there's nothing that would stop you from doing that. As long as you have the mission contract up, all the stuff is persisting wherever it is, and it'll just count how much you've dropped off or delivered, so you should be good to go. And sweet. Did it actually fully take both of those missions? Heck yeah, it did. Awesome. Alright, let's leave the box and get our big one, our senior contract, back out. Connie Taurus. Hands down. Somebody's like, what's the ship worth renting for hauling? Connie Taurus, baby. Alright. Now, we probably got time to do this last big hauling contract for 700k, taking us back from Terra to Magnus. There we go. Request loading. There it is. Now let's get in here. Nothing like a bit of lateral strafing in the morning just before breakfast. Yeah, depending on how much load you got in your whole sea, it definitely is going to be a little bit of lateral strafing. Don't forget to refuel. Oh, my dude, you're right. We're at 6% fuel. Hold up. I'm going to refuel before we load up. Dude, Matt, you just saved my ass. Let's go find a landing pad real quick and take care of that. Pulling the ship in so we got a little bit more maneuver. My man, coming in clutch. Reminding me to refuel my ship. Because that was very much going to be a problem. Alright, if I could just remember where the heck these outside pads are. I think it might be on this side. Well, no, not on the actual cargo side. Oh, I think I see them. Haulers, look out for haulers. Yes, sir. Good man. Alright, yeah, there we go. I think I see the pads right there. And what's nice, too, is, I mean, technically I would like, for immersion's sake, to dock and sort of do this the right way, so to speak, but maybe once the whole sea is fully functioning normally, we'll do that. Well, you can just kind of hover over these pads. Don't even need your landing gear down. You just got to be low enough to the deck for it to register. I do drop my gear just so I don't bump the belly in case I get a little too close. But this is the quick trick for refueling rather than actually docking and risking everything that comes with docking. I wonder if I can actually fully fit on this thing. Come up as close as I can here. Well, partially successful. We're sort of... Oh! Perspective is kind of thrown off. We can actually come forward quite a bit more. Whoa! Okay, baby. Whoa! Okay, okay. She's touchy right now. Man. She actually fits. Holy cow. Yeah, and again, you don't actually have to fully land. But man, you're like... When you're in the cockpit seat, you are like right up on that wall. Alright, there we go. 20k worth of quantum fuel. Good stuff. I fully refueled my C2 and it showed that it did, but I ran out 3/4 of the way from Microtech to Magnus Gateway. I was pissed. Yes. Yep. That is something you got to be careful of. One of the reasons... So, I don't remember who said it. It might have been Deshaun. I forget who was in the chat. I usually don't like running advanced display because it's really noisy and I don't like it. It's kind of all over the place, but what it does is accurately show my fuel. And I have not had an issue. It actually says it's at 100%. Because sometimes when you refuel, you don't know that you've refueled because your MFD will actually show, like, see right here, I'm 100% quantum fuel on my advanced nav, but still only 540k out of 8.6 million, if those are the units you're using, on the actual MFD casting. And it's really annoying. Sometimes going into quantum shows that you've actually refueled properly, and sometimes it doesn't. And there's nothing more annoying, and typically the way around that is to store your ship and bring it back out, and then it registers as having been fueled. The problem, which is just the added time that takes, man. Like, we don't all want to have to go down and store our freaking ship before we get back to business here. Careful actually landing, though. The sea likes to go purple on the pads. Ooh, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. We got lucky there, I guess, with me actually touching down. I will keep that in mind. I'm just trying to reorient to where the damn cargo grid is. Should actually be this way then. I don't want to just arbitrarily be floating towards... What the hell, dude? Where's... How am I this lost? Is it down there? Nope. Oh, cargo, where are you? Alright, you know what? We're just gonna head this way for a sec. Because I'm feeling like a total noob right now. Unable to find my cargo area. Just get a good wide berth of the station here. There's our main saucer. And there's our cargo section. Crisis averted. Man, even boosting lateral strafe barely moves it. There's a bug that caused that. Looks like it's still there then. In a hangar, you have to store and retrieve. No idea how you do it on a pad. Yeah, I've had a case where that happened to me once in the Hull Sea, and I actually had to go and dock and store it from the docking collar and then call the ship back out again. It's really annoying. Guess we'll see what happens here. Advanced nav is reflecting that I'm 100%, and we'll see if the quantum jump reflects that too. I hope so. Yeah, this will definitely be our last one. The refueling added a little bit of time to our endeavors here. Let's get adjusted into the box. Get slowed down. Jeez. Alright, yep. There we go. Alright. I put myself in an orientation to vert strafe to stop that. Alright, I'm just not going to move. We are in position. We are pulling cargo on. Cool. Can you land a whole sea? Caterpillar for me, hell yeah. Bear probe, sorry, beer. Where's my mind? Yeah, I'm a big cat fan myself, as you know, and a lot of folks on here do. Mining's my main loop, but I'm doing hauling until they bring my Arastra out. Oh man, that's gonna be an amazing ship. Tired of mining in the Prospector and don't care for the hassle in the Mole when it only holds a bit more. Yeah, that's fair. Well, the Mole holds quite a bit more, unless you've got the janky bag trick working. 96 SCU versus 32 or 48 if you put the Mole bags on. I've really enjoyed the hell out of flying the Golem. It's stock 32 SCU, but it is fun as hell to fly, man. That ship is fast, maneuverable, good time. Basically has a built-in helix head. Manual refueling usually works better. Hey, there we go. Okay, might have to try that if I have an issue with the auto refueling. So just manually fuel up, get around the refuel bug. It'd be really sweet if we got a full drop-off on this mission too. Take a second to fully load up. We got a pretty good cadence here of boxes coming on board. They're not really stagger loading too bad. What's up, Enigma? You have to risk it for the biscuit. If you run out of fuel, you gotta call one of a Starfarer enjoyers for a mid-air refueling. Hell yeah. You know, it'd be pretty sick to see a Starfarer come out and refuel a whole sea. That'd make for an interesting picture. Oh, I should ask, Enigma, I was actually just asking earlier, how's the Starfarer doing? Like, is it reliably refueling ships now? Because last time I had one, probably like a year and a half ago, it didn't work. Like, refueling was completely dysfunctional. So it'd be really sweet if it works. Ah, Holsey just found the original LTI pledge for 200 bucks. It might buy it back. Maybe it's time to finally give it a ride. Inrise, maybe. It's so I'm having pretty good luck with the whole sea on this patch going between Terra and Magnus gateways. But as far as dealing with Pyro Gateway or Everest Harbor, which is kind of our hub, it's a total mess. And so far, for the most part, we're getting partial submits, but like well over 95% of the load drop off. Still good money. It's working, you know, with varying degrees of success. I don't know that I won't advise anybody on how they're spending their personal money. You do what you want with your money. But I will say it's a little rough. It's a little rough. It is working, and there are workarounds. It's doing pretty good in a lot of regard. Let's see though. Cargo transfer complete. This might be a good example. So we got 4,230 SEU according to our stats.
Initiating ship storage procedure.
No,
For
sir.
safety, please vacate the area.
What do you mean ship storage procedure? You didn't even give me an impound code for that one, dude. What do you mean? Now you're trying to. Uh-huh. Nope. I'm already gone. Frickin' mall cops. Yeah, successfully refueled a C2, 3 Caterpillars, a whole sea, and a handful of freelancers. Hell yeah, cool. So the Starfarer has got its career back, man. That's frickin' dope. Alright, final run back to Magnus Gateway. Just buy it in game. I wouldn't get it with cash. I can agree with that. It's relatively cheap compared to the other large ships. It's only 16.5. 16.5 million. There we go. And in fact, if you're wanting to buy it in game, I can even donate some funds to help you get it in game, so you can see if you actually want to keep it. I gotta reach out to one of our guys who I think is in the Discord, McFly. Yeah, he's actually on. I need to ask him if he got his whole sea back yet, because I was helping him get some money to be able to get his whole sea again. Why is it saying we're obstructed right now? Come on, give us a clear path to frickin'... What are you doing? Never had an issue with the Starfarer. Usually the docking UI for the ship and need a refueling. I gotcha. Yeah. I just wanted more people released or requested a refuel for the Starfarer game loop. True. I mean, hell, I'll tell you what. Anytime that I need a refueling, I'm gonna try to do that first. I'll put out a call on the Discord channel. Which Enigma, if you scroll up in the chat, you should see a link to the Discord. If you like, it'd be nice to have some refuelers on the Discord that we can try to rely on if we're stuck out there in the verse. Okay, there we go. No more obstruction notification. While we're in this quantum jump, I might actually run and get my food in the air fryer, my breakfast and lunch, and then I'll pop back onto the chat. So, give me a sec, guys. I'm going to step away for a moment, and hopefully I come back to us still in quantum. And it looks like, yeah, the refuel did work for me, so that's good. Right, we've gone 20 gigs. It works just like using a docking collar. I can set a price in the refueling MFD, and then the ship that needs gas targets the Starfarer, requests docking. Once docked, I can begin the process. Rain Day, what's up? Every time you get that, you get mid-jump impound. So, like, while you're in quantum, you end up getting your ship yeeted out of you? What a pain. Bear Probe. 1 million game. Upgrades are expensive. Yeah. What you flying around? What's your source of earnings? I need to, actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me hit up McFly. Oh man, yeah, hopefully. That's kind of why I said hopefully I'm still in quantum when I get back. Looks like we might be alright. Yeah, something that really needs some work, man, is they gotta tamper down these frickin' mall cops, these station parking meter police. It's so frustrating, dude. It's like, I like the idea of making it where people can't hog up your loading zones, but how about you give us like a full 60 seconds to get out of there before you start saying, hey, we're gonna take your shit. It's such a pain in the rear. No problem. Like I've said, I've done it successfully around about 10-ish times. It's nice because you can charge a wee premium for the fuel. Nothing crazy. So yeah, it's smart, man. That's a smart refueler. You know, you're covering your fuel costs plus making a little profit, helping people out. I think that's good. Honestly, I would expect every refueler to be charging some sort of little profit, because, I mean, if we're being honest, when have we ever really had to worry about refueling costs in this game? I mean, yeah, it was 20k to refuel my quantum in the whole sea, but 20k after just dropping a load that got me about 600k. I mean, for the most part, with especially regard to hydrogen fuel, and pretty much any other ship with quantum fuel, we haven't really had to blink an eye at price, so paying a little extra to have someone come out and help us when we're stalled in dead space, I think it's worth a little premium. At least it's not like missiles and how expensive those have gotten to rearm. If I fully dump my Connie's 24 missiles, I'm spending over 100k to rearm. Makes you think twice before you missile spam. Or people just wreck their ships and then claim them. What do we think, guys? You think we'll have a full 100% drop-off? All 4,200, little over 4,200 SU? I'd say the odds aren't very high. I think we'll be like under 100 SU off from total, if I had to guess. I would love to be proven wrong, in the positive, at least. Oh, I got you. Hauling in the cat. Are you doing like station to station type jumps? Are you doing planetaries? Because I'd love to donate you a little funds to go grab yourself an Erebus quantum drive. That's what I'm using on the whole sea. Incredible civilian quantum drive. Feel free to add me in the game. It's the same handle as my Twitch and YouTube, CPT_Deadweek. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Matt. About 100 short or so. Yeah, I run 3 parapet shields on my Caterpillar. Not since the fuel bug in Pyro. Since Pyro with 4.0 and the larger distances, my service have been in demand recently. Hell yeah. How has your experience been with that, especially in Pyro? Like, people, like, not biting the hand that feeds, so to speak? Be like, yo, this guy's coming out to refuel me. I'm not going to be an asshole and try to blow him up now. I'm curious to the sort of play dynamic out there. All right. So yeah, so Matt and I are on the same page. We're thinking we're going to be about 100 or so off. Hopefully it's not more than that. I would love for it to be less than that. I would really love for it to just be a fully complete contract. It'd be nice to have one, at least of the big ones. We had a couple of completed small ones, but again, I don't really put a whole lot of weight into those. All right, let's try our same method. Let's get up to about 320, 330 or so meters per second, and we'll rotate and burn, and we should be pretty much right next to the station. I did not do anything with the whole sea in the last patch, aside from my initial testing and realizing how busted the servers were and how busted the whole sea was performing. I basically spent the majority of last patch either doing VHRT bounties in my Connie with my org, getting everything together for supply or die, which is actually what got me my whole sea, and then the rest of that time I spent in the PTU testing the 4.1 release with the whole sea, which kind of really kicked off the YouTube channel and streaming and everything else, because a lot of people seemed pretty interested in this ship and how it might play in future patches, and the whole sea wasn't really being covered for the most part by anybody during the supply or die event.
Hello, and thank you.
Couple of ships coming in over me. All right, there we go. Full burn, expanse style. Let's see if we hit our mark again. We should come to a stop at a really great point here. If you took ice contract from Pyro Gateway from around 2 to 3K, you could sell it for about 18 to 24 mil. Insane. I use the Gemini, so I have an absurd HP pool. I had one guy in a fighter and a strategic boost in the vertical as he tried to strafe me after getting his fuel. It came a beautiful dent in the armor. I love it. FAFO, am I right? That's awesome. I have the Erebus now. Just want to try and get the money in myself, but thank you. Yeah, my pleasure, man. Yeah, the Erebus is definitely the bread and butter of our travel in the system. Yeah, all right, cool. That put us kind of right about where I wanted. So yeah, about 320 to 330 meters per second while while full. Turn and burn, wait for the ATC notification, and then full burn in retro, and you pretty much come to a stop right next to where your grid's going to be. Now that changes the lighter your load is, but with, you know, over 4,000 SCU, it's a good good strategy. Especially as whole sea pilots, we don't really want to waste too much time, given you never know what the temperament around certain stations might be. Alright, give it a little jiggle, hands off the sticks. Any day now? Okay, I'm doing my little vertical trick. Vertical strafe usually wakes it up. Now it's moving us forward. God damn it. Excuse me. There we go. One more jiggle to the rear did it. Alright, we're dumping. Let's see how much. I try to halt any place that doesn't involve landing on planets. Just feels faster. Yeah, that burned atmosphere to get the jump drive online takes too long. Yeah, I can understand that. It can be a bit of a pain. You definitely get through Member a lot faster stacking the Member planetary small missions. At least if your goal is to get through it quickly. But if you're just kind of enjoying taking your time hauling around, yeah, keep at it, man. Just do what you love. I remember when planets were first put in, and it took like a real 10 minutes to get out of Atmo on Crusader in a big ship. Yeah, the freaking ceiling to actually get out of Crusader's atmosphere was really, really bad. I normally hit reverse for a second, it works. Yeah, that's actually what ended up doing it here. Typically for me, a little vertical strafe, you know, either up or down does the trick, but backing up did it for this one. A little over halfway done, let's see. What's up, 77th? Literally the first time I've seen it's working. The whole sea? Yeah, it's Magnus and Terra, man. Magnus and Terra. That run back and forth, you can usually get 1 or 2 missions from Magnus to Terra, and then the big mission from Terra to Magnus. I would avoid Everest, Seraphim Station, Port Tressler, all the Align of Mine areas, and avoid Pyro Gateway. Magnus and Terra Gateway have been pretty good. Why haven't they given any real love to the Hull C to make it work better, knowing people like it so much? No, so they have, Bizzle. They actually have. There's been a really big change. Oh, did we do a full contract dump? Holy shit, guys. Hell yeah. So the Hull C's actually gotten a lot of love between 402 and 41. Now, before that, you could argue that it'd been neglected pretty hardcore. Right now, the only reason the Hull C is actually struggling is because of all the other crap they added to the game and the excessive server resource issues with the Align and Mine event, because this thing was performing night and day different in the PTU, and if you're not in all the server hiccups, it performs really well. Like, we were just going back and forth between Magnus and Terra with not much problem. My first hint that they were actually doing something to give it some love was the fact that the cargo grid box had gotten a lot smaller, which showed me that they were actually doing something. They're actually working on the cargo loading system itself, which the ship is generally okay. It's not really the problem unless you Alt F4 or bedlog while your ship is open, because then you get sort of glitched into a closed state. It's a whole nightmare. It's a problem. Aside from that, though, it's gotten some love. It has not gotten enough love, and I'm sure that they're on it. That's one of the things I'm dedicated to testing, is the Hull C gameplay. So if you're curious to follow it or to see how it's performing, I'll be your guy. And yeah, we're getting that stupid obstructed issue with trying to get back to Terra. Now, I do hope to see another hotfix soon that'll make this even smoother, because I am also noticing a lot more Hull C traffic, which is really cool to see. Yep, yeah, pretty much 70. It's working outside of the Align and Mine server areas that are really bad, and probably Pyro Gateway just because of the traffic through there. Since they changed their server strategy to focus their priorities on the Align and Mine event, Everest Harbor and the Hurston system, as well as Orison and Seraphim in the Crusader system, are incredibly painful at the moment. We're going to try to bedlog. We'll see if it works, but I know we have not been having good luck with that, which is one of the issues with the Hull C right now that I hope get resolved, because right now it's still registering the ship as being like near a landing zone. We'll see if that's still the issue. But yeah, guys, if there's one thing you can take away from this stream and the experience I've had on the 4.1 live build so far, is if you got the Hull C, don't go to Everest Harbor. And honestly, don't go to Pyro. Just run between Magnus and Terra. I know it's the longest jump. I know it's only about 700 one way and about maybe 150 to 300k the other way. But it's going to save you a lot of headache, a lot of downtime. I had my first successful planet-side commodity haul of fresh food today. I haven't gotten those cargo elevators to work in forever. Oh yeah, Enigma, another trick. I've mentioned this in some other streams and such. The surface elevators are usually a mess. Oh my god, I can log out! It's working! Yes! Okay, cool. Something happened. Maybe it's going between... Maybe it was a pyro bug, because we were having all those issues around pyro. So maybe, yeah, Magnus and Terra are just the way to go. But yeah, real quick before I close out of the stream, when you're doing your planetary missions, you want to go to the distribution centers. You want to go to the internal hangars, like HDPC Casillo, Farnsway, the Kovalek Center, Sakura Sun. On Microtech, that would be the Kovalek Center, Microtech's distribution center, the Grey Cat Industries Center, and their Sakura Sun Center, Goldenrod or whatever, and then the main ports. I've never had elevator issues with those places. These surface elevators for me are always bugged out. And one thing that kind of happens in a positive sometimes is if you're in that permanent load, if you back away from the terminal and go back in, it might spawn properly. It's really hit or miss. But I would just avoid surface elevators, like topside elevators. I would do the internal hangar stuff, and you should have no issue. Hell yeah, Trucker Fam in Rise. Sorry, I might have said that weird. Don't forget to close your ship up. Oops. I got ahead of myself. Well, we don't have any cargo on it, so hopefully I didn't just totally bork it after I just mentioned that you don't want to bedlog. That's one of my own rules. You know, Matt looking out. I appreciate it. I made a mistake there. Magnus Terra, though. Yep. Fishhead, Magnus Terra is working. We just had a fully complete 4230 load drop-off. The others have been like within a 98% or so drop-off rate. From Magnus to Terra, it's going to be a smaller load, guys. It's going to be an experienced load of about 400 to 500, and you might be able to get 2 contracts. So it'll be about, 270 to 300K for about 900 to 1,000 SCU going from Magnus to Terra. But then you get the big 698 or 711 from Terra to Magnus. And that loop is working right now pretty well because there's not a whole lot of, server resources being used up there. The surface elevators actually worked. Yeah, that is definitely a unicorn. I look forward to those surface elevators working more consistently. But it's good to see everybody in the chat, man. How do you switch servers, by the way? I heard that you can fix elevators. That's a little tougher because you can shard rip where you Alt F4 and go back into the same server. But I'd have never seen that to actually fix an elevator. Otherwise, you would have to... What I do to actually switch servers so you don't just get put back in the same one is to go from US to EU. But you're going to lose your contract if you do that, your missions. So that's a little tougher. Yeah, all right. I think that's it, guys. I need to get out of here. It's already 5:20. I got to get to the gym. It's really great to see everybody in the stream. Stream updates or schedule update is Monday, Wednesday, Friday now from 3 to 5. So we're doing 3 days a week. Not as much time between streams, and then whatever little impromptu streams that come up. And if you see it in the chat, if you guys want, there's a link to the Discord. Feel free to join in and hang out with all those industrial types. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.